In the quaint woods of western Pennsylvania, a seasoned camper and former Boy Scout finds himself embarking on an unusual cold weather camping trip with friends that takes a turn, as a bizarre encounter leaves him questioning the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural.
At the time of writing this, I am living in western Pennsylvania, a little south of Pittsburgh. I was in Boy Scouts for most of my life, so I feel very comfortable in the woods and go camping often. Upon hearing Governor Wolf's school closure plan, I decided that it was time for some cold weather camping. It was March. It wasn't that cold, but it did drop to 40 degrees at night, and the people who I went with weren't really avid campers. If you're from Pittsburgh, you may know the Boggs campsite on the Montour Trail. That's where we went. They, of course, only brought weed and alcohol and didn't bring any sleeping bags, blankets, or pillows, so naturally, I assumed they were going to have to sit by the fire all night. It was light when we first got there, and the fire pit was still smoldering. Very cool. We used the coals from the previous camper's fire to light ours, and immediately I knew that I would have to provide wood for the fire until I went to bed. They passed out beers at around 3 p.m., and after having 2 to 3 beers, I just wanted dinner. They made ramen noodles and cheese, which was amazing, and burgers over the fire. By this time, it would have had to have been close to 5 p.m. because it started to rain a little bit, so we took shelter, and occasionally one of them would throw some sticks on the fire and I would cut up some logs. By the time the rain stopped, it was 7 p.m. All 4 of us smoked a blunt and were sitting around the fire. After a while of just hanging out, they asked if I had any blankets. I always have blankets. Nothing special, but we've had some pretty bad snowstorms in the past, and a couple scratchy car blankets are always useful. They each got a blanket except for R, as we'll call him, who got my summer sleeping bag that I brought just in case. By now it was dark, 9 to 9:30 p.m., and the fire was getting low. I start off to find some more wood because they wanted to smoke another blunt. Now you have to understand that I'm 6 foot 5 inches and a semi-frequent user of the devil's lettuce, so my tolerance is kinda high. I return with the wood and we spark up another blunt, a smaller one, and just kinda hang out and talk and listen to music. Eventually the fire, again, dies down a little bit, and again, it's my job to get more wood. Because we had been there for a while, and there were people there before us. Most of the wood near the shelter was either really small or all used up, so I had to keep going farther and farther away from camp to find wood.